Student government is allocating $300,000 of students' money. You're getting God.
How can students sit back and feel like there is 100% integrity in the running of these elections? There's not. Okay. Elaborate on that. We're here with Naesoj Ware. We have to ask you the tough questions.
Feeling like I wasn't gonna have that community or sisterhood that I had yearned for so long. It was to a point where I was praying every day to be in these spaces. Like, that's idolatry.
When does Houston president come into the picture?
Never.
Never. Jay Jones being your mentor.
I'm not gonna sit here and deny that having access to Jay made it possible to fight my fight a little bit harder. I was like, look, Jay, if you don't do something.
Sitting back now, I mean, that was back in March, right? Do you feel like you honestly and rightfully won the elections? By the end of this conversation, all the questions in the world will be answered by Naesoj Ware. Has anyone called you Naesoj?
Well, Naesoj is, like, that's what I tell people.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Naesoj is fine too, though, because my mom and dad go back and forth about what it is.
They still to this day?
Yes. I say Naesoj. My mom says Naesoj. My dad says Naesoj. Yeah, it's like.
I'm going to roll with Pops. Call it gender bias. Naesoj. I'm just going to roll with Naesoj. That's what I'm rolling with. What? Can it see me? Yeah, make sure I look good. Remember, I have to look better than the guest, or it doesn't work. No, I'm serious. What? I'm serious. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. It doesn't work if it's not that way. That makes sense, right?
Have you guys always been a duo?
No, not originally.
It's more of a.
It's a trio. But he was not who I started this with, actually. He wasn't. But when I originally did this, the first episode, I actually dropped it. It was back in like October 2023. It was me and another friend who sat down and did it. And we hired someone by the name of Alana Smith. I don't know if you know who that was or that is. But we ended up falling out because he didn't really care about it and I cared about it. So he was the part of the restart of things. We are officially live. Do we need those lights?
No,
you can't see me? I want to look light skinned.
Yeah, but I don't want these on.
Yo, that's a crazy side eye you just gave me.
Kyle.
I can't look light skinned. I can't dream my dream. No,
dream.
I don't know where that is from.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl? No,
I don't know.
Yeah. Were you a Disney kid or a Nick kid? Were you a Nickelodeon kid or a Disney kid?
I was Disney, but also Nickelodeon.
Disney. You don't know Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
SpongeBob is Nickelodeon, right?
Yeah.
So I'm Nickelodeon, and then I'm also Disney as well.
No, you're not Disney.
Okay, I'm not Disney.
You didn't even know. Dream.
Hi guys, we're here with Naesoj Ware, who is educating me on Nickelodeon?
Disney. See,
Disney.
You're not Disney. Pew, 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 pew.
She's educating me on Disney. I was both a Disney and Nickelodeon kid. I just don't remember Shark Boy and Lava Girl, which is okay because I remember Blue's Clues, and that's Disney, right?
Wow.
Blue's Clues is not Disney, but the jokes are writing themselves. Kyle.
We're gonna stop.
I had no idea who this funny.
This is not about me. It's about Naesoj.
You should flip the script, actually. Now I have questions.
I'll give you a chance at the end to ask me a question if you want to. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's cool. All right. Okay. So, like I said, we're here with Naesoj Ware. I have a question for you to open this up. If someone was to walk up to you, someone random, someone you don't know, and they were to ask you, who is Naesoj Ware, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that Naesoj is a progressive advocate for Black and brown people in all areas and ways of life. And she's dedicated herself to education and liberation of Black and brown people.
Okay. Now, I know you're from Boston. Do you think...
Black Boston.
Black Boston.
Yes.
Do you think being from Boston, though, and I'm sure witnessing some of the discrimination that goes on in Boston as a Black person, do you think that had any encouragement or incitement in wanting to do you think that had any incitement in having that feeling of wanting to defend Black and brown people and stand up for them?
So I think it's funny because I often say, and that's why I said Black Boston, because I think people just have a misconception of what Boston is. I grew up in a predominantly Black and brown area, went to predominantly Black and brown schools, had Black teachers my entire life. So I didn't really even I didn't understand the concept of discrimination really, because it wasn't something that I faced in my day-to-day life. It wasn't until I got older and started, reading and educating myself, and then came to college, that I gained the language to articulate what I went through on a more systematic level. Okay. So I will say yes and no, because in Massachusetts, we still have something called MECO, which is literally a busing system. And so students are literally still getting bused to this day to richer neighborhoods to receive education, because they don't want to, do what needs to be done for public schools for them to be able to stay at home and receive an education. And so when you think of those systematic, discriminatory, exclusionary, oppressive practices, that's stuff that I now understand on a deeper level. And yeah, it definitely does drive that want and need to educate and liberate Black and brown people, especially in Boston, Massachusetts, because I think what happens to a lot of us is we get caught up in that, oh, it's really not that bad here, so I'll just stay here and do what I got to do. But there's so much more to that. And I think we have such a responsibility to not only bring the liveliness and the diversity and the culture in Boston to the world, but then bring the world to Boston as well.
Okay. So I'm not familiar with that part of Boston, right? Like you said, I'm definitely one of those that when I hear of Boston, I think of the negative connotation that goes with Boston, what's usually highlighted to people who are not from Boston. Mm-hmm. Elaborate a little bit on that section of Boston, that Black Boston, and just, again,
I wouldn't even say section of Boston, we are Boston. Is that crazy? Well, my mom is dumb, but Boston is made up of a whole bunch of neighborhoods and towns, but the main ones are Dorchester, Mattapan, Roxbury, Hyde Park, Rosendale. Those are the main neighborhoods, North End, South End. And so when you get to the North End, South End, that's when it gets a little bit, Caucasian. But those areas that I just named are predominantly Black, and that's the city. Now, when you get to Cambridge, that's where Harvard is. You get to Cambridge, you get to Malden, Somerville. Those places are not Boston. Brockton, Lynn, those places are not Boston. Those are the predominantly white areas that people associate with Boston, and that's how we get the whole Boston is white rep. Okay. Or suburbs, right? Okay. So yeah, I wouldn't say section, but Boston. It's Black. It's Dorchester, I already said that, mommy. I already said that. It's Black. It's Black everything.
Okay. So what I'm understanding is that what we see as Boston is not truly what Boston is.
I always say parents wouldn't send their kids to Harvard or Northeastern or Boston University if they knew the hood was right up the street. They wouldn't. You could cross the street and be right in Roxbury, be right in Mattapan. They wouldn't send their kids if they knew that. So they have to even look at our sports, look at the Celtics. There's a reason why Jason Tatum is our franchise player and not Jaylen Brown. It's it's politics at the end of the day, because Boston's one of the greatest cities in the world. And it is, I will never say it's for Black people. They are doing everything they can to sustain, white people in that neighborhood, but it's a Black city.
Okay. So then explain a little bit what early life was in Boston, actual Boston, as I'm learning today.
It's amazing. I'm everybody, it's the Emerald City. Things that I did as a child, other people did not do. I went to boat camp. I was on a double Dutch team for years, third place at the Apollo Theater. Our double Dutch team was a really big deal. Double Dutch culture in Boston is a big deal. I was a skater. I love to skate. Been skating my whole life since I was 3 years old. So skating in Boston, that's one of our things as well. Bowling, we love to bowl. So yeah, I just grew up doing very like recreational activities, the stuff like on the street, like any given moment you could go out on the street and there's Dominican people over here, there's Jamaican people over here, Haitian people over here. It's like, it's diverse, it's Cape Verdean, it's everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like Boston is a lot more diverse than like.
Yeah.
I'm like learning today a lot. I'm definitely learning.
I'm gonna put you onto we have a cinema photographer coming out. He's like going nuts, but he dives into like the heart of Boston, the history of Boston.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Okay. I'm definitely gonna need that.
Yeah.
What is the educational system like in Boston?
Yeah. And
let me add on more so because I know where you went to high school, but more so early stages. Were you in Black Boston?
Yes.
Going to school during that time? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank God, actually, this is definitely like, this was God made. My entire life. My entire life is just crafted perfectly by God. But I was actually supposed to be in Mecco, and I was going to go to Brookline public schools, basically through the Mecco system. But Young Achievers was my elementary school. It was formerly known as the Lewenberg, had just moved to a location that was like 5 minutes from where we lived. So my mom was like, okay, cool. Like, you're just going to go there. It's a charter public. It's a great school. It's a pilot school. Great. So I went to Young Achievers, Boston Public School. So I'm public school, like born and raised, never been to a charter or private or anything like that. In the sixth grade, I took an exam. And I thought I wanted to go to a private school. It was called Thayer Academy, and I didn't get in, which was really a blessing in disguise. And I got into the John D. O'Brien, which was my middle and high school. And that's an exam school.
Oh, your mom's getting pictures. Right now.
And that's an exam school. And yeah, so went to exam school all through middle school and high school. Yeah, Boston public schools are great. Like, honestly, I think it's declining now, and I hate to say that, but I always say, like, I don't care how much money I make or my family makes, my kids will be Boston public school born and raised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an amazing system, in my opinion.
Okay. Now, you do then go to a high school which is more preparatory, and I'm going to guess maybe looked a little different than earlier years of elementary and middle school. Am I correct in that?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the reasoning for going to that school, and was it hard adapting to that transition of maybe being what it seems like moving from Black Boston to what we would look at as Boston? Yeah.
So O'Brien, luckily, is still in Black Boston. It's in the heart of Roxbury. It's right next to Nubian Square, which was formerly known as Dudley, right next to Madison Park, which is the only vocational school in the city. So it was different in terms of it was much more diverse. Like, I had never went to school with so many white people. I think there was like one white boy in Young Achievers. People that, practice like Islam culture, like a religion. Never went to school with Muslims before. One of my best friends was from Bangladesh. Like, I just had never met those kind of people before. Asians. It was just, it was way more diverse, but it was still predominantly Black and brown. Like, that was still the majority population in the school. So it wasn't all that different, but it did definitely expose me to more culture than I had formerly in my elementary school.
Okay.
And my reason, honestly, I was just following the pack. That's what I'm saying. Like, God really knew what he was doing, because my friends were all a part of this preparatory program called Stepping Stones, and this is really, when I think back on it, this is really what's fueled my passion for education, because there's just so many like inequitable systems a part of education that make it so that some people are here and some people are here. And that's why we just continue to see this cycle of like conflict within our government, within, capitalism, within industry, just all that all ties back to education. But my point is, they were part of this Stepping Stone program, and it basically prepared you to go to a private school or an independent school. And they had taken the test, the ISEE test, the exam to get in the exam schools and stuff. And I wasn't even going to take it because I was going to stay at Young Achievers till 8th grade. My mom moved schools a lot, so she was very big on like, I want you to go to one school throughout and then one school throughout, so you don't have to grow up saying you went to all these different schools. And I loved the Young Achievers as well, so I really wasn't tripping about leaving. But all my friends were, getting ready to move on and go to 7th grade somewhere else. So I was like, let me just take this test, see where I end up. That's when I'm like, okay, I might go to Thayer. Got into Thayer, couldn't afford, or got waitlisted for Thayer, couldn't afford that anyways though. Got into the O'Brien, and at first I was like, I'm not going to the O'Brien, because O'Brien had like a really bad rep at the time because it was next to Madison Park, which was considered a bad school. But both of those are great schools, like some of the best in the city. And so again, I would say like I was very just blessed and grateful to have gone to O'Brien's, saw that through.
Okay. Now, where does Howard become a part of the picture? And did you, again, being in an environment that seemed to, again, highlight more so Black and brown people than white people, do you think that was that Howard and HBCUs in general was just an extension of what you already cared about and valued?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I always say like I didn't come to Howard like needing to become Black or to.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like I don't know how to say that.
I was that. I needed to find that culture and that.
I never know how to say that in like the least problematic way possible.
No, I mean,
because I don't think Blackness is a monolith or anything like that. But yeah, I didn't need Howard for that. But like I said, I think Howard did give me the language to articulate the things that I didn't know already. I felt it and I knew what it was. I didn't have the language to articulate it, and that's where Howard comes in. Like I knew how to do that now.
Okay, so it was Howard from the get-go.
I always wanted to go to Howard. My godmom went to Howard, but she didn't graduate, unfortunately, and she ended up going to Northeastern, fortunately, though, because that's when her and my mom met in Boston, and so that's how she became my godmom. But she always kind of just pushed, like, go to Howard, go to Howard. But even more than that, she was just like, go to an HBCU, like, go to an HBCU. But I was like, why not Howard? Because I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit scared to go too far from home, and Howard was the closest to, it was like East Coast, first okay, why not? I faked look at other HBCUs. Like I applied to 8 schools in total, and 5 of those schools are HBCUs. So Howard, FAMU, Winston-Salem, Alcorn, and Hampton.
Okay.
No, in Spelman. So 6.
I hope Hampton, you forgot about them if that was the 5th one.
Hampton and Spelman.
Did you really do that?
What? I did apply to Hampton, yeah.
It's okay.
And I applied to, yeah.
You didn't have to say that. You could have just left it.
I only applied, I don't know why. I just was like.
Why does anyone apply to Hampton?
Yeah, I don't know. I only wanted to apply to Howard.
Okay.
But then everybody was like, don't do that. Like, you have to apply to other schools. Yeah. So I was
Hampton was
like, okay,
definitely
sure.
the
But I
safest
knew, like,
schools.
I was like, I'm going to get in. I'm going to Howard. So it doesn't even matter. And I didn't even apply early decision, which is funny. Even though I knew all that, I still was like, early decision was too binding for me. But then when I got into Spelman, I was like, oh, like, I got into Spelman. Like, that was kind of cool. But then they didn't give me any money, so.
Oh, so it's Howard. If they gave you the same amount of money as Howard, would you have went to Spelman?
I still would have chose Howard.
Okay.
You know? I literally said, if Howard gives me 12 cents, I'm still going to Howard. It was an itch I had to scratch.
We love Spelman.
Spelman's cool. Like,
we love Spelman.
But I feel like Howard already does me in enough. Spelman probably would have been way worse. Like, I probably would have lost my mind there.
Well, it's a lot going on here.
Love them.
Okay, so we get to Howard. From what I understand, you ran for Miss Freshman.
I did.
Correct. And with that, my question to you is because obviously I've read your resume. You've had a lot of involvement in terms of being at Howard up until now, right? Being the current HUSA president, right? And also the president of NAACP. Running Miss Freshman, was that already you coming in and wanting to make an actual impact, or was that a younger you wanting to fit into this, what seems like this world at Howard, to where, you know, I guess we could say more elitism world, where you want to hold these positions because they seem to be looked at some value to outsiders and help you with your own acceptance coming into the school?
I think it definitely, maybe it was a little bit of both. I say that because I came to Howard wanting to make an impact. First, just knowing, okay, people from my area don't have access to HBCUs, don't even know what an HBCU is probably. And so that was the main goal. Like, how do I, one, go to Howard? And like I was telling you before, like bring Boston to Howard and bring Howard back to Boston. That was the goal. And I came here not knowing how I was going to do that. I ran for Miss HBCU teen. Like, I competed in the Miss HBCU teen pageant, which was like a whole nother world for me. Like that, I always say Miss HBCU teen changed my life. But I met so many girls who like knew about HBCU culture and like was gonna run for Miss Freshman and all these things. And I was like, okay, like that's cool. Still wasn't really thinking about it though. My sister queen, Trinity Colbert, she's our current Miss People's HBCU choice.
Okay.
I had a feeling, she had never told us, but I'm like, she's definitely gonna be like Miss Freshman, like what she was, but because she was just doing, I was like, yeah, that's gonna be it. So when I came and I was seeing everything going on, I was like, okay, maybe I can run for like president. Like that could be cool or something. But then two of my older friends, Jordan and Daquan, was like, girl, no, you should run for Miss Freshman. And I'm like, why? Like, she's like, they're like, you already competed in a pageant. Why not? Like, it could be a cool experience. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I don't regret anything, but like, I probably wish I would have stayed on my route. Like now that I'm looking back, I like that freshman year, I didn't do anything. Like I love that about my journey. But I don't wish I never ran for Miss Freshman, but I was just doing stuff. That's why I would say it was a mix of both. Like I did want to make an impact, but I also acknowledged that I was kind of just doing stuff. I wasn't intentional about where I was going to make the impact.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you think you not winning Miss Freshman had any impact in regards to it making it maybe a little harder to find yourself and find that acceptance, like going through very early rejection in this campus that again seems to value those positions and those, you know, those name positions, things like that?
I felt more rejection from organizations that I did Miss Freshman. Like Miss Freshman hurt, but it didn't hurt that bad. Like I try to recall that feeling, and I knew I was gonna lose. Like by the second week, I was like, okay, yeah, I probably don't have this in the bag. So I was kind of preparing myself for that. And then secondly, I never once thought like, oh, if I don't become Miss Freshman, I'm not gonna be able to do the things I want to do. Like I don't have that kind of mindset that positions and titles give you like the access to do what you want to do. So yeah, I would say more of my hurt came from the other rejections. That was like boom after boom after boom. The Miss Freshman was just like, that's another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking in regards to those other rejections, were those very much follow suit of this rejection as well?
I think it was all around the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was all around September. Like September was the month of rejection and acceptance. September 2022.
Okay. Why would you say those rejections hurt more than Miss Freshman?
Because I'm an only child, so I really came here, and so having watched all the shows and watching YouTube videos, and I'm like I really looked up to Maya. She's a YouTuber, and she was in this organization, and you know she was doing things on campus, and I'm like, yeah, this is so cool. Like she seemed to have really like cool sisterhood and best friends, and I was like, okay, this is an area that I can get that in. Like, yeah, cool. But then I was, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
That was probably what hurt the most, like feeling like I wasn't going to have that community or sisterhood that I had saw at Howard for so long or yearned for so long, especially coming from a place where I'm the only child, didn't really leave high school with that many friends. So I'm like, okay, Howard's where I'm going to start new, gain this whole community. And when that didn't happen, it was like, oh, dang, like, yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened next for you then, right? I'm guessing those rejections all coming at such a close period of time maybe made you question yourself a little bit more, and you definitely had a lot of more lonely nights with yourself, whether you had friends or not, just more mentally. Like what was that period of time like?
I just remember feeling like so defeated. Like I felt like Howard had really like defeated me. Like, wow. And I just remember not knowing like what was next or where to go. I was just kind of putting one foot in front of the other. At that point, I had launched Pipeline to the Mecca, which is a mentorship program that I co-founded with my best friend. And, I was satisfied with Pipeline. I had made the mock trial team, which I was also pretty satisfied with because I loved mock trial at the time. And that was a cool little community too. I think I was on COAS freshman council. So like, that was cool. Like I had done a whole bunch of filler things, but it still felt like a void. And so then when you get around like that October, November area, and now everybody's popping out, it's like, oh, like, dang, like here I am again being reminded that you don't have that community of your own. So yeah, it just felt lonely. Like it felt lonely and it felt defeating, and it just felt like, I'm just kind of doing things to fill the void.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm guessing that you had friends that ended up being in those orgs at that time, right? That probably ended up getting accepted. At any point, did those friendships happen to change at all due to them getting accepted? Whether it be maybe a sense of envy that you might have had because they got in or you didn't get in, or just more so they changed in a way because they felt like this now fully represented them, and because you weren't in it, they maybe looked at you a little differently. Was there any difficulty in kind of juggling those friendships?
I think for sure. I know some of my closest friends were going through an organization, and it was like, I don't know. I don't like to say, I think we all have different perceptions of what happens during those times, right? So I don't like to be like, people changed, even though that's how I feel. I do feel that way, but I don't like to put that onto people, because what I've noticed is I have friends in orgs who are like, I don't even be feeling like I changed. I feel like people changed up on me. And so I be sitting back like, are my actions a reaction of your actions, or are your actions a reaction of mine? Like, that's something we have to sit here and figure it out. I just wanted to kind of prelude that a little bit.
No, for sure.
But I think dynamics get difficult, because especially when you're a freshman, because those are the first people you come in with for real. Like, that's really September, October. So those are your friends. And so I think it hurts the most to know that who you had spent that first like 2-3 weeks with now have a whole nother group of friends who they probably do rock with a little bit more because they're bonded on a different level. And I think also what's sucky about Howard, and I don't know why this is the way it is, but it seems like once people join organizations, the people who they join organizations with become more important than the people who they were friends with before. And I think that's how I've always felt. And so I think that's what hurts more than anything, but I don't trip about it. It's kind of like, I didn't trip. Yeah. I'm just kind of like, okay, cool. Like, you do you. But it was never envy or anything like that. Cause I'm like, I'm happy for you. Like, cool. I actually sometimes find it weird when it's like, you the one that got in. Why you treating me like that?
Yeah. I get that.
But
Yeah. Because I feel like in the same breath, right? Like because I've gone through similar situations with friends who get in, and then things happen to change, right? And sometimes I think as I've grown up and start not taking things as personal, I have to remember that just like them, just like me, we wanted to get into these organizations to have those friendships. So if that's what we were seeking from the beginning, then I guess what I told myself is I can't be shocked that those end up being such great friendships to them and end up being like so valuable to them when it's what we were looking for when we, were pursuing those things in the first place. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think it is really hard, again, like you said, because it's like, day ones, there are people that like, it's like, we were going to rock together forever. Like we saw each other as like, oh, we're going to get in this together, and this is just going to further solidify what we have. And then all of a sudden it's like people go left and go right. And so I definitely think that's like something that it took a while for me to look at in that way. And really it wasn't until you were explaining it and you were like, these friendships that we want and we're looking for, and that's exactly why we're doing it, that I was really sitting here and thinking, I was like, I guess you can't be surprised when really it all happens. You know what I mean?
I guess for me, because and that's another thing, I think I was raised a lot differently than a lot of people at Howard, to the point where like loyalty, friendship, love, family, all those things mean something different to me, which I've noticed, because in no world could an organization ever make me, like, if I was to join an organization today, my friend Faithful, my friend Ayana, my friend Tyler, like, no shade, all those people would still mean, of course, what they mean to me now, of course, and more. Not to say that they would be over y'all, but it's no comparing the history and the years that I have with those people. And so for me, I'm always just confused of like, how could people who you've been with for a few months trump the history which you have with people for years? But it's like, okay, if that's the way, people have different definitions and outlooks of friendship and loyalty and love. And so it's like, I can't expect everybody to kind of. Yeah.
Because it's funny you say that. Like so I played football when I was here, and there were guys that I wouldn't speak to me. Like, we just, not that we had beef, we just weren't friends. It's 100 people on a team. You're not going to be close friends with everybody. But in a moment's notice of somebody getting in trouble, that person was there. And I don't know if maybe it was just like, there's an understanding we're all on the same team and we we'll protect each other, whether you're my friend or not. There's just that bond that might have been there. And also it could just be the fact of like, if I don't stand up for you, someone else is going to look at me a certain way because they expect me to look out for you because you are my teammate, right? So like, I guess it could be the same thing in an org where it's like, maybe I truly don't want to be your friend to the closest, but like if I have beef with you, then my brother, my sister, whoever is going to look at me weird because I look at you weird. And it's almost like,
and I be,
you have that proved to everybody.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I be understanding it, never to the point where like, you know, certain things where I would change certain things about myself or the way I move with certain people. But I be understanding like, you know, I served on Alpha Court and I love my sister queens. Like that's something that I rep to the death of me. We're not the closest. We don't talk every day, but let something come. I'm gonna be like, oh, my sister queen, my SQ. Like, you know, it's just overly repping it, overly just going hard, even knowing it's not that. And I think that's another thing too. Like, sometimes you're just deceived by things. Like I think these people don't be that close. You know, stuff like that. It's like, it's all deceiving.
Yeah. Now, those early rejections, going through all of that, what benefit did that have? Did you grow out of it in that next year or so plus as you continue your matriculation through Howard?
So I think freshman year was that. And then the end of freshman year started looking up for me. I remember like I just got, I was starting to get close to God. Like I had always knew God, but I started gaining my own relationship with God. And I will never forget, I was literally on the floor in my quad room crying, like bawling my eyes out because I had applied to be on the Alpha Court or to be a contestant for the Alpha Court. And I didn't get it. And I was like, dang, like that was like, what am I literally doing wrong here? Like what is going on? And then at that point, there had been rumors about things that were happening. Like there was a rumor that some girl who was going through a selective process and she stayed on my floor. There was a rumor that I kind of helped her leak information about that process. And I'm like, I barely even know that girl. And it's like, y'all know that wasn't me because y'all saw her messages. Y'all didn't see my name. Y'all know that wasn't me. That was a rumor that was going around. There was another big situation that had happened where like, that might be messy to get into, but I basically just got caught up in some situation that I just should not have been in because I was trying to do the right thing or called myself doing the right thing as a freshman, but it ended up getting deemed as like messy. So here I am getting called messy and I'm like, I thought I was doing the right thing, whatever, like cool. So that all the rejections on top of the rumors, on top of the rejection that came from Alpha Court was like, wow, like this is not going to be a good experience for me at all. But then I saw Marlon West. Okay, so yeah, I'm crying. I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm listening to gospel music. And I just seen the sky open up, like really, like I'm not even kidding. I seen the sky open up. It's nighttime and it was just a light. And I'm just like, what am I going to do, God? Like, what do you have for me here? And then the next day I'm walking on the yard and I see Marlon West and Armani Washington. They had just won Mr. and Miss Howard. And Armani's like, yeah, girl, like I want you to be my assistant. I'm like, okay, cool. Like that's very exciting. And me and Marlon, we're just joking around. I'm like, yeah, like, you know, your bros ain't want me, like, da-da-da. He's like, what? He's texts his line brother. Boom. Alex texts me like, yo, we might have a spot for you. I'm like, thank you, God. Like, dropped to my knees that day. Like, wow. Like, I cannot believe how quick it happened for me. And then ended up winning a spot on the court, which was like, you know, I wasn't even a contestant at first. Here I am winning a spot. So this must have been like, you know, God ordained. And then I didn't serve as Armani's assistant because it just would have been too much, but I ended up helping the Bryson Print campaign. And I was always under Jay, but we really grew close to the Bryson Print campaign. So then I applied to be deputy chief of staff for HUSA, got deputy chief of staff. So things just started looking up. I'm like, okay, like things are getting way better. So I forget where I was going with that. Then, did I grow out of that? So yeah, so it's going good. It's going good. End of freshman year, come into sophomore year. I'm like, okay, I have these positions, I have other aspirations. I'm like, cool, let me go forth, go strong. And then boom, the whole world crashes again. Okay. And I'm like, oh, like, dang, like that was really a really depressing.
Where's the world crashing? Where
moment. That's like,
what is going on during
that's like
this time?
The entire year is going good. Like I loved HUSA. I'm getting close to people in HUSA. And then come that spring, it's like, boom, world crashes. I'm like, oh, like, and that's, I think people, it's grief. Like, I will never downplay that. Like, I think, especially when you've wanted something for a while, like I'm first generation and stuff, so I don't have the ties that other people have.
And specifically, we're talking about in terms of the world crashing. Are we talking about other rejections?
Oh yeah, other rejections.
Again?
From like Greek organizations and stuff.
Okay.
So, like I was saying, I don't have the ties that other people have. So, I'm not like, oh, my mom is that, my grandmother is that. But I had grew up, in programs and stuff like that. So it was like, okay, like this is something that I might want to do, now that I know what it is and I can see what it is and stuff like that. And, I'm going full throttle, like something I'm passionate about. And then, like I said, I'm the only child. So that's the most compelling thing to me. Like, wow, I'm about to have like a whole bunch of like friends and sisters, like super, super cool. Like when they be like, oh, you paid for sisters, like that would have been me, most definitely. Because I don't need it for nothing else. Service, leadership, social action, I do all that. You know what I mean? So yeah, so the world crashes. I'm like, dang, like, especially because it's something I felt like I had been working so hard for. But then it was also another reminder that it felt like rumors that I couldn't escape and stuff that I knew not to be true about me that everybody believed. And it's like so many things that I know not to be true about myself, people believe, and it's dictating how they treat me and how they see me. And it's like, dang, like that's really crazy. But it got me to a point where it was like, if people don't even care to clear up these narratives, they don't want you in their spaces. There's a reason why people don't ask you questions and have conversations with you. You're not wanted in these spaces. And I had to think back to myself, like it was to a point where I was praying every day to be in these spaces. Like that's idolatry. And I'm not saying that that's inherently demonic or inherently, idolatrous or anything like that. But for me personally, it was like, okay, God, like I have made this an idol. And so where do I go from here? What do I do from here? And I remember I was at church one Sunday, like literally 3 Sundays, maybe after everything had happened. And it was like the pastor was like, God wants you at a place where things are like, if they happen, they happen. Like, okay, because you're so content with him that nothing else matters. And then I realized like, okay, I have to get to a place where I'm so content with God that nothing else in life matters. And when that started happening, my eyes just started opening more and more to the person that I was, the values I had, the morals that I had, things that I felt like I was compromising to be into spaces was suddenly like, look at you, like, high school, you would laugh at you, Naesoj. Like your people back home do laugh at you. Cause I remember my friends would be like, they'll watch stuff on TikTok. They're like, oh, Nate, you're not doing nothing like that. I'm like, nah, y'all, I'm not doing nothing like that. Whole time I'm going. But it's like, that's like, I just had to realize like, that's not you. Like, it's a beautiful thing. I admire the culture. I admire my HBCU culture and everything that comes with it, the selectivity, all that, obviously we need to have conversations around it and improving it, but I do love the culture. I think that's another misconception too, that like I'm this like anti-Greek or anti-selective org person. It's like not at all. I love the culture of all those things. I just hate how inequitable it is. And that's what I had to realize. Like these are inequitable spaces that don't represent anything I'm about or want to be about. And so is this something you really want to do? Is this something you really want to be a part of? Or is you just trying to, like be a part of Howard? I thought that was going to tether me to Howard. And then I realized like, no, being a Howard woman tethers you to Howard. Having a degree, leaving a mark on this place is what tethers you to here. And so that's the whole story of how I got over all of that. Okay. That was a lot, but
no, this is great. Look, again, like I said, we need clickbait, Yeah.
That's how I got all over. Yeah.
Okay. So we're covering about freshman, sophomore year. Yeah. Now we go into junior year. When does wanting to run for Houston president come into the picture?
Never.
Never comes into the picture.
Never. So junior year, I become chief of staff. I run Jay Jones and Terra Highlands campaign as the campaign manager for Onward. Like chief of staff, boom, this is what I always wanted to do. I'm like, I finally get to shine. Like, cool, I love Houston. I want to run the systems. So then everybody's all like, oh, Naesoj, you running for, by September, everybody's like, oh, Naesoj is running for Houston. Naesoj is running for Houston. I'm like, Naesoj is not running for Houston. Like, I don't know what y'all are talking about. And people thought I was lying because, that's the thing here at Howard, did not tell people your plans. But I was so serious. Like, I had no plans or intentions because to me, I had already been through so much at Howard, not even being in a campaign, like not even campaigning or wanting, like, it was just like, it wasn't worth my peace or my sanity or my happiness. It didn't feel like, it also wasn't worth my life. I felt like I seen people get so caught up in the Howard bubble and so caught up in Howard student leadership that they leave here and it's like, what next? And I didn't want to be in that place. And I know myself, like I love Howard and I love Houston. So I could find myself pouring my entire day into HUSA sometimes, and that does happen. And then I look up and I'm like, damn, grad school applications. But it shouldn't be like that, you know? So that's just, I didn't want that to happen. So that's why I was kind of pushing it off for so long. But then Thanksgiving break, it was kind of like, okay, Naesoj, you have to make a choice. And I remember having a conversation with Jay Jones, who's the 64th president and 63rd vice president. And she's my big sister general, love her down. And she was like, Naesoj, like, I'm going to respect if you don't run, but if you don't run, you will be throwing away everything we built these past 2 years. And I was like, like, how could you put that on me? But she was right. Like, ultimately, she was right. And I was like, okay, like, I have to, it's an obligation, it's a duty at this point. And I care about, like I just said, Howard, HUSA, and the students way more than I care about that sounds bad, but like really more than I care about myself. Like, it's not about me. So, yeah.
Okay. So we get to that. You do your campaign. You win. We have to ask you the tough questions.
Yeah.
We have to ask you the tough questions.
That was a crazy time.
Number one question. Sitting back now, I mean, that was back in March, right? So we've had time to reflect. Do you feel like you honestly and rightfully won the election?
Definitely. Most definitely.
Okay.
Don't
Why
go
is
into
that?
depth.
Yes.
So, first of all, numbers don't lie. Like, democracy is democracy. And in every election, Payne and I garnered the most votes. So that's the first point. The second point is we were very strategic about the quote unquote rules that we broke. This is so convoluted. I have to say, first of all, like, no, I'm not even gonna say that. Okay. We were very strategic in the rules that we quote unquote broke, right? And so we did not get any strikes purposely because we knew, like, we're going to go out with, we're gonna make a statement. Like, this is bigger than a campaign. This is bigger than an election. Like, we're making a statement with this entire, beyond. And so with that being said, then now here comes Sticky Man that's on the yard and doing all the things. Here comes the newspapers that's all over the place. Here comes the banner out the window, and da-da-da-da-da. So the strikes is like, got 32 strikes for all of that stuff. They took a picture of every single newspaper and all that. So 32 strikes come. And it's like, okay, like, okay, cool. But they're not valid. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and be like, oh, that wasn't us, da 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 da. Okay. But they're not valid strikes because you couldn't tribute or you couldn't tie anything that was done back to the Beyond campaign. Those newspapers, they said RTM, they said RHP. What does that mean? You couldn't, like, in a court of law, what does that mean? You couldn't tie that back to our campaign. The sticky note man didn't have anything about Beyond. Like, yeah, there's sticky notes all over our page, but what does that mean? Who's this? What are you even talking about? So it's like, if people want to be like, oh, you broke the rules and you should be out, okay. But then again, on the flip side, there were other campaigns who broke way more of the rules than we did, and nobody's talking about that. Like, nobody's talking about how other campaigns had already had 4, 5, 6 strikes before we even got our first 2, and we're constantly getting them removed. And those weren't even strikes that we were reporting, because I told my team, like, I was very big on, we're gonna win this fair and square. We're not striking anybody out. Don't submit a single strike. I don't care. They'll run their race and we'll run ours. It wasn't until the strikes started coming through from Beyond that we were like, hold up, wait a minute, what about, and what about, and what about, and what about? And people think like, oh, that's tit for tat. And like, yeah, maybe it is tit for tat, but y'all not gonna count us out and not even, because that's my biggest thing. Like, if you gonna call us out on cheating, don't call, like, it could have been a thing of like, okay, you're cheating, you're breaking the rules, but you are too. And it could have been a thing of like, you just do you and we gonna do us, but you made it to the point where it's like, we gonna call you out on the rules that you're breaking. It's like, what about all the rules that you just broke? So yeah, like that's my answer on that. Like, if people want to be like, oh, you should have been kicked out because you broke the rules, cool, but rules are broken on the other side, and then at that we only have democracy. If the case is that rules is deciphering who won it fairly, we both broke the rules. So what do we have left? Democracy, and the numbers spoke for Beyond. So
okay,
yeah.
So then, what would you say to the people that might assume that Jay Jones being your mentor and her being super close to you, when the elections commission was fired. What do you say to the people that think that was a benefit that you had due to you and her being so close, and like you just previously mentioned, her wanting to see the work that y'all put together continue to be pushed forward, which for her would mean you still becoming president?
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's funny too. Like I said, I'm never the type of person that's like, I'm not going to piss in your face and call it rain. Like, I'm not going to be like having, what?
Piss down your back.
Anyways, piss in your face and call it rain.
Piss down your back and say it's raining.
So if folks are like, oh, Jay's your mentor and that's how you were able to do that, I'm not going to sit here and deny that having access to Jay made it possible to fight my fight a little bit harder. But what I will tell people is that no matter who the president was, it would have got done. Because Jay could tell y'all, Jay was not trying to do nothing. Like, she was like, just wait it out, just wait it out, just wait it out. I was like, look, Jay, if you don't do something, I'm going to keep going up. And I did. And I went to the executive director of campus life, and I went to the assistant vice president of student affairs, and I went to the student conduct people, because at the end of the day, what's wrong is wrong and what's right is right, and what's wrong was wrong. And we weren't the only people that the commission had wronged that year. And in fact, we weren't the first case against the commission that was even brought to judiciary. There were 2 cases brought against the commission to judiciary before our case was even brought. So yes, like, people can make the argument that my access to Jay made it easier for an executive order to happen, but also they were always going to interfere with what the commission had going on because of the level of concern that was coming from other candidates, not even just the Beyond campaign. Okay.
And I know that there was then a joint statement put out from the 6 councils, the 6, school councils, right? Do you think that statement coming out had any influence due to some of your opponents being presidents of councils? Because I know that then after that, there were 3 councils that those 2 opponents happened to not be presidents of, that came out and spoke against that statement and said they had nothing to do with that statement. Do you think that there was something going on there on that side?
Yeah, definitely, probably. I don't know the details, and like, all I've ever heard is rumors. So, I don't want to spread any rumors about how anything behind the scenes happened. I just think it was a miscommunication about, first of all, I think, and I think that's another misconception, that like there's disdain or negativity towards the other campaigns. Like, I don't have that at all, because I think I understand, like, I understand a lot. Like, I'm very empathetic to people's situations. I think people were forced to do things, and that sucks. Like, that really sucks. I think people were forced to do things. I think people were forced to act in ways they wouldn't have normally acted or didn't want to act, but had to, because this meant something else or whatever. And so I think it was miscommunication on the part of everybody. I think maybe the executive branch and judiciary miscommunicated what exactly was happening, and that's why the councils felt it necessary to stand up for the commission. And then maybe it was miscommunicated to the councils what exactly that statement was going to look like. I think it was miscommunication around the board. I think it definitely hurt in the long run, which, is never positive, but.
Okay. Yeah. Now, and after having this conversation, do you feel like how can students sit back and feel like there is 100% integrity in the running of these elections? There's not. Okay. Elaborate on that.
I'm sorry. Like, I think, and I actually just posted this on my story, we have to accept that humans are imperfect, and humans make policies, which means policies aren't perfect. Humans made the code, wrote the code. The code isn't perfect. Humans run the government, and the government isn't perfect. And even more than that, our student government models a United States government that we don't even believe in. So how could I ask you to believe in student government and you don't believe in American government? We're an American government wannabe, so you have every right not to trust us, because I don't trust us either, and I don't trust American government either. And it's like, you'll only ever know what's going on if you get involved. Honestly, that's the best way to not get yourself got. To get involved. Okay.
So then what would you say to the people that are, by the time this comes out, this is going to be
Oh wait, but let me expand on that a little bit. But what I mean by get yourself got if you're not involved is like, for example, me, right? People thinking like, oh, you had access to Jay and that's how you made that happen. Yeah, I had access to Jay, but like I'm involved. More than anything, I'm involved. I couldn't get got because I knew what the code said. I knew what the Constitution said. I knew who to call when something was wrong. I couldn't get got.
Okay.
But people get got all the time because they're not involved. Student government is spending $300,000 of students' money. Students don't know where that money is going. Not spending, allocating. You don't know where that money is going. You're getting got.
Yeah.
Like there are community service organizations asking for money and they're being told that they should charge students dues. We're being got. We're all being got because nobody is holding people accountable because nobody's involved.
Yeah. Okay. So recess. Quick recess. The next question, we're just snapping back into this. So the question I was going to ask you before we took our little break was, what would your advice be to the people who are getting ready to put together their elections and want to run for something and are looking forward to March and maybe being appointed something in the future? As the baby blesses us with.
I would say my real and raw answer would be like, be genuine. If you're not genuine, don't do it. Like there are other ways. Like if your goal, I feel like, and nobody wants to really admit it to themselves, right? That like, oh, I really don't want to do the work for real, because people get into these roles thinking that they're going to work, or maybe even think that the work that they do is satisfactory. But like, student government is so limited because of people's overcommitment and underperformance. And if you know that you're one of those people who don't want to like give student government a lot of yourself, I'm not saying don't be a part of it at all, but don't strive to be in the highest positions, because that does a disservice to everyone. I would say that if you're someone who you know, like you are down to take on that burden and that's something that you want to do, I guess have your why clear and be able to articulate it to all different audiences and make sure that it resonates. And I think more than anything, say what you want to say fully and truly. And I think a lot more people will agree with you than you might think. And that's just what I had to keep reminding myself of. Like, never mind. I was going to talk about one of my favorite songs, and a song that I listen to every day during campaign season, but that plays into my graduation concept. And so,
okay, yeah. Let it ride. Hey, just hold it tight. Let it ride. Yeah. You're good. Okay. Now, I know that you're, like I said previously, you're also the president of NAACP. Yes. Now,
NAACP.
There is another situation that I want to highlight. You know,
the hilltop?
It is the hilltop. We got to talk about it. So, as we know, there was a student that was arrested. Yeah. For allegedly having cocaine at the time, right? And after that happened, there was a statement that was put out by the hilltop. Mm-hmm. And I am not as well versed in the specifics of everything. Again, especially being like not here. I don't like to put my own assumptions into anything. But what I do know is that after that statement, there was a statement that was put out from the NAACP, which I had to say it like you, which seemed to kind of criticize the statement that was put out by the hilltop. As someone who is also the president of HUSA, right? And in a way, your role represents students, that you have that, whether you want to call it burden or weight on your shoulders. Do you, and also again, in the same breath, being someone who is the president of NAACP, do you believe that, like looking at it from your HUSA view, that maybe the statement was a little harsh towards the hilltop? That is led by and garnered by and formed by students? And do you think that the vocal focus was lost a little bit in having that statement towards the hilltop in regards to the student that the situation was originally about?
What do you mean the vocal focus?
Like, do you feel like maybe to the outsiders it took a little bit of focus away from his specific situation, because now it just kind of looked like a back and forth between two organizations within Howard?
I'm not sure. I'm also not sure if that would be a bad thing or a good thing, because, I mean, first let me say, and I don't know why I didn't think that would come up, but it's tricky because I'm like, how do you be apologetic without apologizing? Because I'm not apologetic. Like, I'm not apologizing, and I'm not sorry, because we meant what we did. We meant what we said. Mm-hmm. I love what the Hilltop stands for. I think that the people in the Hilltop are admirable. Like, I have one of, like, you know, I love the Hilltop. Mm-hmm. Like, Sydney is great. Dominica is great. And so I think the sucky part of any business, and not even just that situation, but the business that we do at Howard, is that, like, we are asked to maintain personal and professional relationships at such young ages, which is something that I try to be empathetic to. Because I'm somebody who, like, we could beef professionally and be fine personally. Like, that's what it got to be professionally, but personally, I'm still gonna say hi to you on the yard. But people are like, "Oh, what? Nah." Like, and I'm like, "Oh, dang, okay, dang." But I think, yeah. I was saying all that to say, like, it sucks that personal feelings have to get so roped in to professional matters. And I do think that was a professional matter, because, and why I'm not apologetic and why I say we meant everything that we said, because one, that wasn't just me, but that's my vice president mm-hmm. and I. So that wasn't just a decision that I came mm-hmm. to. And then the entire chapter has to vote on if we're even going to post it. Or what the language is. Like, it went through many revisions. Even, you know, I'm like, was it harsh? I'm thinking back to it now. Like, I work to, with everything I write, I work to make it as neutral as possible, because I do fight so hard for people to understand that everything I'm saying with the utmost love. Like, I'm saying it with love. It has to be said, but I'm saying it with love. Mm-hmm. And so with the Hilltop, it just had to be said, because it's like, I'm somebody who believes that at Howard, we have a responsibility, we have a duty, we should be modeling the world that we would rather live in. I say that all the time. So it's like, how dare we, a Black student organization and a Black journalism outlet and a student-led journalism outlet, even perpetuate something like that or write something like that. And it's like, I understand the whole, like, journalism is journalism, but, like, not here. Like, we don't do business like that here. It's like, why though? Why do we even apply those kind of ideologies to situations like this, when there were so many other things you could have wrote about? There was a protest on the yard. There was literally a protest on the yard. There was so many things that could be written about. There are so many students doing great things and nobody will ever know. It's just like, you know, I don't mean to go on a tangent, but it's just like, it's just not something I feel that had to be written about, especially when I could see if the article did something. I could see if it highlighted something. I feel like there was a way, if this is student journalism, right? And you know, I'm not a journalist, so I have no idea what they can and cannot do with their articles. But I'm like, maybe, okay, you wanted to report on the facts, but then maybe you could have added something that talked about, you know, something that might have benefited students. Like, it wasn't even, I mean, and I did read the full story when they finally posted it. And it's just, I don't want to say it wasn't impactful, but, like, I've read other stories about that situation and it just seemed like the same thing being reiterated. And so it's like, what is your duty to do something different as a Black journalism outlet coming out of Howard University, founded by Zora Neale Hurston? Like, that's not what we stand for. We don't do business like that here. And I think we all need to be accustomed to like the way y'all do business in the real world is not the way we do business here, because that's not the way that you should do business. The way we do business is the way we should do business.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, this is more of a pop question. Do you have an interest in getting into the real world government?
Not as of right now. Like sometimes it seems like a distant dream, like that could be the case. But I really I want to teach post grad, probably get my master's and my PhD in education. I just really want to study education and how it affects urban areas. And I just want to pour myself into that. I feel like my entire educational career has also been about extracurricular, and like I want to pour myself into a topic that I'm interested in. Okay. And then if it comes that I find myself, doing government, then that'll come. Okay. But I want to write curriculum for K through 12 public schools. Okay. So maybe that'll end up somewhere. Yeah. And
the reason I asked that is because I remember when I sat down with Osei, and he told me that one of his mentors told him that you can't make everyone happy and do business successfully. That's just not something, like someone's going to be upset. And it seems like in a way you have, again, being the HUSA president and being the president of NAACP, it seems like you have learned, maybe through experience or walked into these positions, being able to separate the professional aspect from the personal aspect, and separate maybe what could be hard representing those two different organizations, where one of them in a way stands for students as a whole, and this other one you have to in some way step on some students' toes, rightfully so. As do you think that was something that you knew would be, or was it easy for you? Has it been easy, or has it been a struggle sometimes for you to be able to juggle those two things?
In terms of being HUSA president and NAACP president, that was the first time that the intersection was like sticky. But I called Sydney before anything, and I was like, "Hey, Sydney, like, what's going on? Like, the backlash. I personally think that. Told her what I personally think about it." And she asked me, she was like, "Well, is there anybody we can talk to? Like, could you convince?" Like, she was like, "We'll edit the story. We'll add to it if there's people we can talk to." But obviously there's reasons why certain people can't talk. And that was another thing too that I just didn't quite understand. Like, if somebody's saying, "I'll give you the full story once everything's done," why are we jumping the gun? There's just no reason to do that. Especially when I feel like I was talking about that duty. Like, we have a duty to trust our peer, our brother who says this is not what it seems. Our people, it's not even just him saying that. People is saying this is not what it seems. Why would we report on something that's not what it seems, But anyways, and she was just like, when the more stuff comes out, we'll continue to report on it. We plan to do so and so and so. So I'm not going to say that the due diligence wasn't there. I have my own opinions about the way the due diligence was applied, but I will say, I think that, but that was the only time that it was kind of like that it was iffy. But I think that I did my due diligence because that's something I've received that before. Like, Naesoj, like, you always go straight to the media. Like, you never, have conversations, which is really not true. Like, I have conversations. Like, I don't think people understand actually how many conversations I have, and it is what it is. And so I think, and even that, when I go to the media, I'm not going to the media to attack anybody. Like I said, like, I'm saying things with love in the sense that, like, yeah, you need to hear it, but other students need to hear this too, because whether or not, first of all, I feel like if you were saying something that you didn't mind, why are you saying things that you mind people hearing? That's my first question. Like, I wouldn't say, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't say anything that I don't mind people hearing, that I would mind people hearing, but like, if you serve the students for real and you're saying stuff that students may not like, whose really fault is that? All I'm doing is, is kind of perpetuating that. And like, I think it's necessary because students need to know who's representing you. Yeah. Students need to know, not even who, because I never name drop, I never say anybody. Students need to know the ideologies that the people have that are representing you, and like the things that are happening around your campus, because like I said earlier, like, you're getting got. You're literally getting got. So yeah, it's hard, but not really, because that was like the first time.
Do you think that, because I know you had also mentioned earlier about the fact that like Howard's government in a way is like a replica of the American government. Do you think that we as Black people criticize and then reenact the same things that we criticize in general? Like, do you think that we might be a tad bit hypocritical in our criticizing all the way from school level to all the way to a actual government in higher level, even when it comes to like our criticism of white people, and in a way we have acted in ways to where if we were in those positions, we'd probably be doing the exact same things they're doing?
I think, yeah, and I talk about this like a lot. I talked about this in my inauguration speech. I said we challenge and ridicule government so much, but model our systems, behaviors, practices, and policies right after the government we want to change. And not only that, you know, we talk about everybody wants to be somebody. Everyone wants to give back to somebody, give back to something. You talk to people in the school of business. It's like, I want to make a whole bunch of money so I can give it back to Black people. Okay. Like, but what do you do right now on campus with the positions and the wealth that you have here at the Capitol? Because I don't think people understand the capital that they have at Howard in the way that they could be giving it here. Same thing with like people in politics, and you're a political science major and all that. But what are you doing? How are you applying that? How are you applying that right now? And so, what was the question?
Like, do you think that we're emulating?
Oh, right.
You know?
So yeah, for sure. Like, and I think. And I'm not above any of that. Like, I think in the same ways that, I think we all do it. And I think it's because it's all we know. And I think that there are people like me who probably reject it a little bit more than other people. Doesn't mean I'm not still a person that's, you know, actively emulating something as well. If you're a participant, you're emulating it. I think I really admire on abolitionists and reformists that choose to reject the system entirely and really, really build a new system, because there are people who like, I'm not going to build a system from inside of it. You can't do that. Yeah. And I'm somebody who probably believes that, but look, here I am right now. So it's like, you know.
Do you think that we as a Black community still, I mean, sure, I'm almost positive we haven't been healed, but still suffer very much the trauma of the oppression that we had for so long?
I was literally, yeah.
That is why, in a way, we don't even know it, but we're acting exactly like the people who were holding us down for so long.
So I think I was literally just talking about this in my philosophy class, that people always say, I was just watching a TikTok and I actually commented, and I wish I never did that because I never comment on TikToks. Like, I hate that. If you have enough time, no, I'm not even gonna go there. Sorry. I hate commenting on TikTok. So the fact that somebody could even, that's, I don't like that. Anyways, I commented on this TikTok, and she was talking about the elite HBCUs, like the big three, you know, Spelman, Morehouse, and Howard. And she was basically saying like, how could you say elitism exists at these schools? Like, we have rats, we have roaches, whatever, And I'm like, if we refuse to accept, like, in the same way that we want to reject Blackness, we also want to accept it as well. Because when we're here, we're like, how could a Black person discriminate against another Black person? How could a Black person oppress another Black person? We don't see ourselves as those people, as rulers, because the world has convinced us that we're victims of racism. So when you get in I didn't mean to quote unquote that. We are victims of racism, but the world has us convinced that we're victims of racism. So even when we get in our own spaces, we believe that like we can't victimize each other because we are the victims. And so I think, and that's why I'm saying I don't blame anybody for thinking like, because I've literally heard people say like, oh, but I'm just a student leader. I just want to have fun too. And like, I just want to do this too. And it's like, I get it, because you feel like we all in the same position. Like, I'm just as down as you are, but that's not the case. And I think if we realize that there is hierarchy, we have to realize that there is hierarchy amongst ourselves. And we have to be able to draw a parallel between the issues in the real world and the issues here. When we talk about the money that student government allocates, and the reason why people don't know that, that's the same thing as government having real money and black and brown people not knowing that. When we talk about you spending money to go all these places and other people aren't included, that's the same exact thing as like, that's the same exact way capitalism works. Like we literally, so if, you know, we're embodying capitalism and hierarchy, and maybe you can't call it racism, but it's still discriminatory. It's still exclusionary.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not okay. It's still inequitable and it's not okay. And so, yeah, like, I think we definitely do still suffer from this idea that we are oppressed. But it's like, rightfully so though, rightfully so, but we can't operate in that mindset so much so that we never see ourselves as the oppressor. You have to be able to realize that you too can become the oppressor if you allow yourself to. I think that's the most important thing. And I think that's what we really have to attack at Howard. Like, Howard as an institution, like, has become or is becoming a part of the other side. And I think people are always like, oh, blackness isn't a monolith, and your blackness doesn't have to be tied to struggle and oppression. And it's like, you're right, blackness does not have to be tied to struggle, and blackness does always look different. But we also have to accept the fact that if blackness in the construct of racism means there's underlying tones of some type of exploitation, some type of oppression, some type of discrimination. Whether you feel it, like I said, whether, like, I didn't feel it on the daily, whether you feel it on the daily or not, you could have been a black person that grew up in the suburbs, but you still probably went to school, predominantly white people, and had microaggressions on the daily or something like that. And you're just a victim of it in a different way. At the end of the day, all black people are shared, like, blackness is still rooted in oppression, and we have to accept that. Unfortunately, like, it's not even unfortunate, because I think that's what makes us resilient. You know what I mean? I think once we stop trying to reject that with the whole blackness isn't a monolith, we can, you know, come to an understanding of where we've been, where we're at right now, and where we need to go.
Now, what would you want to leave everyone with in terms of your overall views of, like, where we are as a people, both at Howard and black people in general? Like, the people. This is your message to the people.
I don't even, like, I think just like Howard is a great place. Howard is a great place for so many reasons. There are so many different spaces at Howard. I do believe Howard is a one-of-one place that everybody could find themselves in if they really tried to put themselves out there. I think, however, that there are certain spaces at Howard that are praised more than others, which makes it seem like you have to do certain things in order to be part of that top percent at Howard. Just like there's a 1% in the world, there's a quote unquote 1% at Howard. And I think just like in the world, we have to realize that everybody's space is uniquely valuable in an equitable way. And at Howard, everybody's space is uniquely valuable in an equitable way. And people always say, well, like, oh, this is the culture of HBCUs and da-da-da, and this is why this is highlighted more, and this is why this is highlighted more. It's like, okay, but we see that it's not working, and we see the exclusion that is perpetuating, and we see how it makes people feel, and people don't have to feel that way. Like, it's just like we're fighting too hard to be in too close proximity with white supremacy. That's all that is. Exclusion is white supremacy. Exclusion has never defined black spaces ever, not in our history. So why are we embodying that here? That would be my final message. Why do we embody white supremacy at our HBCU? And how do we have that conversation without people feeling attacked? Because I say everything with love, and I think we should all just say everything with love, have that conversation so that we can do better as an institution and as a people. Because I think if we lead that, a lot of people will follow behind. Yeah.
Now, I want to give you your solo time to give a message to the people closest in your life. I know your mother, I'm going to guess, family, you pick it out. I don't Yeah, this is just your time again.
Yeah, there's so many folks. The biggest shout out to God, because truly God. I think that's another thing. Like, I don't want to go on a tangent about that, but
You're good.
you have to, in struggle is where you will find the Lord. I think a lot of people think that like having a relationship with God is bliss, but it is really when you're at your worst moments that you'll feel closest to him. And I think that everything that he brought me through at Howard was so that I could find him now. And I think I needed to go through everything, which is why I don't resent anything that I've been through. I don't regret or anything like that. So God, number one, definitely my mom, number two, like she's definitely a large reason in why I am the way I am. My godmom as well, and my dad, all three of them, my godmom, my mom, and my dad, all three of them have shaped me for real. My best friends, Ayana, Tanasia, Jaden, they have definitely been like, they've altered my minds in different ways. I don't think I would be the person I am without them. My roommate, Ashley, my forever roommate, Ashley, she literally is like the reason I'm close to God. She like, I'm not gonna say she discipled me, but she brought me into Christ freshman year, and has always been kind of that one person that I leaned on, along with my friend Saida. She's also one of the people I lean on for like spiritual guidance and just comfort. So I really, really appreciate them. Jay Jones, y'all know that's my big sister general for real, along with Nia Naylor. Them two, they're just like two peas in a pod for me. They really ushered me into Howard. I think their kind of love is the love that I wish to give to everybody. And the love that I do give to everybody is just the love that I received. And that's what I mean by we shouldn't be so exclusive. Like when you have love like that, which I know other people do have love like that, you should give it to as many people as you can. And that's what I try to do with the love that Nia and Jay gave me. And then, yeah, I said my friend Faithful, that's my rock. My friend Jalen, he's my rock. I'm just naming everybody at this point, but I really have a great village for real. So, oh my gosh, Kaori is my vice president for the NAACP. Like she is, we go through the mostest, but she's the reason that I'm even able to like do the things, everything that I do, because she's always there. Peyton is my vice president in Houston. Like he's the reason I was even able to be Houston president. And so literally just admire the man he is completely. And just my entire cabinet, like I think, we go through our ups and downs, but HUSA is doing great work. I think we're one of the best administrations to ever touch Howard, and that is literally all thanks to those people. So thanks to my cabinet and just thanks to the entire HUSA. And yeah.
Okay. Now, like I told you, I have my new segment that I'm doing now. Yeah. You are test number 2 on this new segment. What we're going to do is, did you think of that song?
Oh, yeah.
Katie, I need a status on all the cameras right now.
I think my song is...
It's rough, bro. I don't know.
No, I'm saying look and just see the battery real quick.
It's probably not a lot.
All right, but don't say probably not a lot. Like,
Yeah, literally.
what is it on?
It's like literally gonna die.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we only need 2. And that one needs to be the main one, right? So like you can pick this one up and move it over here for this part. This is going to be real quick. I need you to give me the song. What song?
Oh, Blame by Bryson Tiller.
Blame.
That's my joint, my wicka fresh.
Okay.
Boom,
all right.
Boom, 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 boom.
Let's see. All right.
Is that one gonna die too?
Nah, it's been charging.
No, it's been charging the whole time.
Mine's on 90%.
That's fine. We don't need much. This is gonna take literally 10 seconds. Well, a minute and some change.
Oh my gosh, are the cameras still rolling?
Yeah, well, that one and that one.
You have to. Are you even gonna include the clips of me thanking all those people?
Yeah.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
That's a big part.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so like my friend Zyke, I forgot to say my friend Zyke. He is like one of my intellectual day one. That's he's like, yeah, like when it comes to
Zyke, we didn't forget about you.
Yeah, no, not at all, actually.
I mean, she did, but we didn't.
Yeah. And my first years too, like My first years, they were kind of wrapped in with Husa, but they always deserve their own shout out.
Exactly.
Yeah. My
So,
first years. They're my
First years
dogs.
and Zyke, she forgot about y'all.
Oh my God.
It's okay. Because there's always tomorrow. So, just thought I'd highlight that you forgot about it.
Oh, and like, I think this is also important.
Okay.
Sorry. I
No,
feel
go ahead. Look, it's
and
on.
I probably should have told you this, and this is something that I didn't even know, and this is why I love Howard so much as an institution. Like, Howard has a lot of history that I believe we're all connected to. My uncle, who I didn't even know was my uncle until I got here, he was a part of the 1984 admin building takeover.
Okay.
And my aunt Vonza, she stayed in Fraser Hall, floor 2 her freshman year, and I stayed in Fraser Hall, floor 2 my freshman year. That's something that I just learned about. So, like, when I say I think God ordained my steps here, like, I really, really do mean that for real, because the history is so deep, history that I really didn't know till I got here. So, shout out my Uncle Terry and my Uncle Derek and my aunt Vonza.
Shout them out.
Howard alum.
Amen.
Yeah.
Okay. We're here now. I need you to put these in your ear.
Leave me alone. Let me catch my... I should have drank some water.
Can you...
Say I didn't love... Oh my gosh.
Can you hear it?
It's gonna sound a mess.
You can hear the song?
No.
You can't? In the headphones? You can't hear the song. Okay. What about now? Can't hear it? No. Okay. You can't hear it?
That might work.
What about now?
But I heard something.
That's why, because I can hear here. Oh, I know why. I know why. Okay. And put one. I'll put one. Now can you hear it?
My Nana.
Can you hear it?
Did I say my Nana?
No, you didn't.
I was actually just thinking earlier. I had watched something and it was like, what do you do to honor your loved ones that have passed away? And I had to think about it. Like, I've never done anything in my Nana's name, which is crazy because my Nana was my dog. Shout out my Nana.
Shout out your Nana.
Yeah. Shout out
Shout out to
her.
her.
Vanita Miller. She was the greatest woman
Amen.
to walk the planet Earth.
Amen.
And now she walks with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Of course. Amen. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You sure? You're going to have to speak in the side of the mic.
Okay, wait. Oh, side,
Yeah,
right
like-
here.
yeah,
Oh,
the side.
I sound much louder.
You can hear yourself.
Wow.
Okay, you ready?
No, I should have. Can I change my song?
What do you want to change it to?
No, it's okay. Oh,
Okay.
thank you. No. I need to. Yeah, can I change my song? Actually, can I do "Take Me as I Am" by Mary J. Blige?
Take
That's
You.
such like a.
Take me as
I feel
I
like
am
this
by
is gonna
Mary-
go.
Mary J. Blige. Take me as I am. Mary J. Blige. Instrumental. Hey,
The instrumental.
yeah.
I don't know the words.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. This is for you to. Do you know Blame's words?
Like, I know them, but I can't. Okay, just play "Take Me as I Am." I'll figure it out.
Okay. You want to look up the lyrics? You can have the lyrics in front of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say I didn't love you, you know I loved you, did you forget to mention?
That's Blame right there.
Yeah, that was Blame.
Do you want to just sing Blame?
No, Take Me as I Am.
You sure?
So take me as I really don't know. It's like, she's been up and down, she's been down and now she's been talked about constantly.
It just sucks that I'm not gonna lie, we might have to rock with Blame.
Okay, that's fine.
Only because
Because you can't
the
find
connection
it.
here is
fine.
super slow.
Let's do
But
it.
I have Blame loaded up. So you ready?
Ready.
We're gonna do Blame
Ready when
as
you
soon
are.
as my computer loads, and then we'll be done. And Katie can stop looking at me
I
like
can go to
he's.
El Rizzy. Yo, Logan. Bro, nah, I'm about to be done in a sec, so where y'all finna go, El Ray?
Let's go, my boy.
Yeah,
Good to see you.
Where you going?
Boy with the clean.
Mira.
I've never.
That's
What is that?
What's up, my dog? Kyle.
Nice
Nice
to
to
meet
meet you. Yeah.
Sister,
What's up?
why everybody get to meet your mom? Crash
Bro,
cocaine and
she's the coolest looking. You gotta meet her.
I love your mom.
she
She's
Nino
so
paid.
cool.
There we go.
Wait, where is she?
I don't know.
It's,
This is probably
it's Howard Homecoming Kickback.
Yeah, Cash Cobain.
What are you
Nino
doing
paid.
Thanksgiving? Are you going back home?
With
I don't know.
Kate Dimes.
All right, you gotta
and
let me know
Wild
because
Child.
I
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you
Ready?
ready? You ready?
Yep.
man, I'm
You
gonna
can hear
All
yourself?
right, text me. Yeah, I can hear myself.
Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
This is Take Me As I Am.
No, that's blame.
I promise this is Take Me As I Am.
What you have?
What I have in my ear.
No, I didn't play anything. Oh. That's YouTube. The YouTube is playing it.
Oh, yeah.
This is blame, right? This right here is blame. That's your hearing. Yo, Katie, stop with the deep breathing, bro.
I can't fucking breathe.
No, because I know where that I know where it's stemming from.
Huh?
Cause he want to go. He want to leave. Can you hear it?
Yeah, so we can go to El Rizzi.
You can hear it. You can hear it. You can hear it. Yes, you can hear it. You can hear it. You can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay. All right. Ready?
I'm ready when you are. Yeah. 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 Say I didn't love you, you know a nigga love you. Did you forget to mention all the things I did for you, times I made the trip, cause you know I hate the distance. Baby, it's alright. Go ahead and take your time, but you gotta make your mind. Make your mind up. Girl, it's on you. Tell me what you wanna do. Hey, tell me no, tell me some, tell me is it someone see you playing pronto, must know something I don't, can't keep explaining myself, feels like I'm draining myself. Guess there's no one to blame my heart, and drinking will help, and I lost the beat. Did that sound okay? I went kind of fast on that part.
Yeah.
I should have put putting it out.
That's the
Baby,
artist.
I'm talking to Sam.
And now you don't get to hear this until it's time to.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Wow, that's gonna sound a mess.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Wow, thank you guys.
Hi, everyone. Say bye. This was great.
Wow, thanks so much for having me, Kyle. I know it's like literally been a dream of mine to be on Unscripted. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. She's like, it's been a dream of mine to be on.
Unscripted.
Yes.
No, because I'm like, you know, it's spelled like the logo, like.
Yeah.
Anyways, I remember I just like after I saw Tarai's video, I was like, bro, how am I gonna get on Unscripted? Like, and I was
for real,
almost
you're
gonna
being
text
for
you
real.
guys. So I'm glad I waited, so now I can say I was wanted. Like I did reach out. Period. T la la la. Unscripted. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Oh, that's
guys.
crazy. All right, we can cut it. Are you serious?
I'm so serious. I was literally, I was just thinking about it. I was like, should I reach out? Like, I really want to